The internet was not ready. Not for this. Not for the way millions of fans across the world collectively froze, blinked, replayed, and then completely lost their composure during tonight's live broadcast featuring Jungkook of BTS. What was meant to be a casual, late-night moment instantly turned into a viral phenomenon, sending timelines into chaos and leaving ARMY breathless over something so simple, yet so devastatingly powerful: a lollipop. Yes, a piece of candy, but when it's in Jungkook's hand, nothing is ever just ordinary. The live began quietly, dim lighting, a relaxed atmosphere. Jungkook appeared dressed in black leather, hair slightly tousled, eyes soft yet piercing under the glow of red and violet hues behind him. There was no dramatic announcement, no warning, just him, and within seconds comments began flooding in at a speed no human could possibly read. Millions tuning in, millions waiting, millions already emotionally unprepared. And then it happened. He lifted a small round lollipop into view. A playful smile tugged at the corner of his lips. He leaned closer to the camera, eyes locked forward in that unmistakable way that makes fans feel as if he's staring directly at them. The moment stretched, suspended, anticipation building in real time. When Jungkook gently placed the candy on his tongue, social media erupted. It wasn't explicit, it wasn't vulgar. It was simple, teasing, almost innocent. Yet the way he held the stick between his fingers, the way his lips curved around the candy, the way his gaze softened while maintaining that intense connection, it created a cinematic moment that fans would replay endlessly. Within minutes, hashtags began trending worldwide. Jungkook live, the lollipop, he knows what he's doing. Across continents, ARMY reactions poured in, some laughing in disbelief, some dramatically declaring they had passed away. Others analyzing every micro-expression like it was a historic event. Clips were screen-recorded, slowed down, zoomed in, enhanced, shared across platforms at lightning speed. But what truly captivated millions wasn't just the candy itself, it was the effortless charisma. Jungkook has always possessed a rare ability. He turns the smallest gestures into unforgettable spectacles. The way he slightly tilted his head before tasting the lollipop, the playful narrowing of his eyes, the subtle smirk that suggested he was fully aware of the chaos he was causing. Fans described feeling melted, attacked, not okay, and emotionally compromised. One viewer wrote, "It's just a lollipop, why am I shaking?" Another posted, "He looked into the camera like that on purpose, he knew exactly what would happen." And perhaps that's what makes moments like this so magnetic. Jungkook walks a delicate line between boyish playfulness and undeniable stage presence. There's an innocence in his laughter, yet a confidence in his gaze that makes even the simplest act feel cinematic. As he switched the candy from one side of his mouth to the other, puffing his cheeks playfully at one point, fans collectively dissolved. He even paused to fix his hair while the lollipop rested between his lips, creating a screenshot that would soon dominate profile pictures everywhere. But beyond the surface-level frenzy, something deeper was happening. This wasn't just about a candy moment. It was about connection. Late-night lives have always been intimate spaces between Jungkook and ARMY. No grand stage, no choreography, just conversation, laughter, quiet breathing between words. Tonight felt like one of those nights where he simply wanted to unwind and bring fans along with him. He spoke casually, voice low and soothing, occasionally chuckling at comments he could catch. The lollipop became a playful prop, something to occupy his hands as he talked. Yet every time he brought it back toward his lips, the comment section would explode again. Clips of the live began circulating with dramatic captions. "The way he looked ATUS. ARMY survived this challenge. Jungkook please." Some fans joked that it should come with a warning label. Others insisted they needed emotional recovery time. But through all the exaggeration and humorous chaos, there was a consistent theme: admiration. Because Jungkook's power doesn't lie in shock value, it lies in authenticity. He didn't appear staged or overly calculated. He seemed relaxed, comfortable, at home in his own space, and that natural ease is precisely what makes fans feel closer to him. When he laughed mid-sentence, almost choking slightly on the candy and then grinning sheepishly, the entire atmosphere softened. It wasn't a superstar moment, it was human. Yet somehow, even his most human moments feel iconic. Industry analysts often talk about star quality as something intangible, a mix of presence, timing, and instinct. Jungkook embodies that. He doesn't need elaborate production to captivate millions. A chair, soft lighting, and a piece of candy were enough to send global platforms into a frenzy. Within an hour, compilation videos had already appeared, slow-motion edits with dramatic music, side-by-side comparisons of different angles, even artistic fan edits turning the lollipop into a symbolic object of legendary live history. Some commentators pointed out how fascinating it is that in an era saturated with high-budget performances, it's often these spontaneous, low-key interactions that create the biggest waves. Because fans crave authenticity. They crave moments that feel unfiltered and personal. And tonight delivered exactly that. The way he leaned forward at one point, resting his elbow on his knee, chin slightly lowered while the lollipop rested lightly against his lips, it wasn't scandalous. It wasn't inappropriate. It was simply magnetic. And ARMY responded the only way they know how, passionately. As the live continued, Jungkook eventually finished the candy, casually setting the stick aside with a satisfied smile. But the damage, playful, dramatic, fandom-wide damage had already been done. Memes flooded timelines. Me after watching Jungkook eat a lollipop for 30 minutes. Why did he choose violence tonight? Yet underneath the humor was genuine affection. Millions of viewers tuned in not just to see him but to feel that shared experience, to be part of a global moment happening simultaneously across time zones. From Seoul to Jakarta, from New York to Sao Paulo, fans were awake together, reacting together, replaying together. Moments like this remind everyone why Jungkook remains one of the most compelling figures in modern pop culture. It's not just about music charts or stadium tour, it's about presence. He understands the camera, he understands timing, and whether intentionally or not, he knows how to create moments that linger long after the live ends. As the broadcast wrapped up, Jungkook gave a soft wave, thanked viewers for spending time with him, and disappeared from the screen. But ARMY, they were nowhere near done. Edits continued through the night, discussions analyzing his expressions, fans debating which second was the most dangerous, others insisting that nothing about it was dangerous at all, just charming. Perhaps that's the true magic. What could have been a forgettable, everyday action became a shared global memory. A lollipop, a leather jacket, a late-night live, and millions of hearts collectively fluttering. In the end, tonight wasn't about candy. It was about connection, charisma, and the undeniable star power of Jungkook, who once again proved that he doesn't need a stadium stage to make the world stop and watch. And somewhere across millions of screens, ARMY are still replaying that moment, smiling, laughing, and wondering how something so simple managed to feel so unforgettable.